Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name's Steve Woody. This is Formation FI March Ask Me Anything update. We're here joined with Ravi, Josh, and Krzysztof. Guys, hello. How are you doing today?
Hey, we're good.
I'm good.
Good.
Very good, Steve.
Awesome.
Despite the market sentiment, I guess.
Yes. Do you know what? I've got to the point now where the markets are just down, and even when Bitcoin had that little relief rally, and then before obviously we had the stuff with Ukraine and Russia going on, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm not even going to look at the charts anymore. I'm not going to look at the market. I'm just going to build. I'm going to build relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to build
Yep.
communities. I'm going to build products. I'm going to build whatever I can, because the best thing you
Yep.
can do in a bear market is build. So yes,
Yeah, exactly.
Heads down, working hard. No news is good news. And I was just saying off air, it's quite nice to have no news at the moment, because it means there's no bad news. So it's been quite a relief. But I'll jump straight into this. First question I'm going to ask is version 3, guys. What's happening with V3? Obviously we've had
Okay,
our
so
challenges.
I'll answer this. V3 is basic. It's ready. It's ready to be deployed. However, we're gonna take a couple more days to audit it before we release it. So it should hit probably. I'm not sure how long the audit is gonna take. If it's just gonna go smoothly, that there's nothing in it, then we'll just probably gonna be ready to deploy it by mid next week.
Okay.
But basically, it's been done as of today, because I just finished checking it with our dev, who's working on it, and now we're just gonna send it to the audit.
Awesome. Okay, that's good news. Thank you very
We've
much.
also added emergency withdrawal for the users, so just in case anything happens, because I know I've heard that there were comments that we didn't have it in the last version, that there was no such option as emergency withdrawal. So now it's gonna be added.
Awesome. So for those that are asking for the
Yeah.
the funds that were in version 3 will be there. So any of the
Yeah.
tokens that were there before the theft will still be there.
Yeah.
The team will replace those, so don't worry. And I think it's fair to say just give it another week. Let's just wait a
Yep.
week, allow the team just to do their checks and their audits, and then I think by the end of next week we can expect.
Yeah, we're gonna release the audit as well. So
Amazing.
everything is
Okay, so we'll get the
transparent.
audit next week, and also
Yep.
the hopefully it will go live pending no problems. But obviously, if there are challenges that need to be addressed, it may push it back a little bit. So have that expectation, and then I think it'll be fair to say that we can expect an update by next Friday if it's not live, just to find out what's happening. That seems fair.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, awesome. Well, that's V3. So, guys, just wait out on V3. Okay, so the next question is regarding V3, just to round that off. Have we had anything back from the police? Do we know what's happening? What's the story, just briefly, with the theft and that situation? How are we looking on that?
Yeah. So basically, the Canadian police is running their own internal investigations. We don't have much update out of it yet, because they just told us to wait. We did deliver all the blockchain proofs that we could. They have his passport. I'm not sure whether it's fake or not, but there is a possibility that his passport was also fake.
Yeah.
So we don't know that. We cannot say whether it was or not. So we just have to wait for that. We've sent you the report. Everything was claimed. It's basically going through Canadian jurisdiction, because he was based out of Canada. That's what we know. He deleted all his LinkedIn profiles and basically all the footprints he had on the internet with his name or nickname on. So he kind of vanished from every place he was. He used to be this seen. As well as he also deleted his his track of repository in a GitHub.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So I think it's fair to say at the moment that if we hear anything, we hear anything, but not to expect anything. But the team.
Yeah, this could take up to a year or two to basically track it down and resolve it.
Okay, well, I think I'll speak on behalf of the community, and we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you get to find him and deal with that, and there's some justice served. But okay, well, moving swiftly on, because I don't think we need to spend much time or attention there. Are there any new team members? Is there anything to mention? Are you looking to expand, obviously replace? How's that going? Are you just dealing with the current team you have? Are you
we've expanded a lot, but I think Josh will give you, the update on this one.
sure?
Yeah, maybe I could spend some time. So last couple of weeks have been very rough internally because we were reconstituting the way we approach our internal team building. So some old members are being let's just say replaced, and we have been interviewing very aggressively and very proactively to look for the best type of devs that we think is needed for us. And in the past, I think the issue was that because the market was so hot, we rushed into hiring people without properly testing, without properly doing background checks and stuff like that. We're now doing all of that. So the quick answer to your question and your question was, is the team expanding? Yes, absolutely. But it's not expanding in every department. For example, marketing, there's no need to expand there. General admin, we're not expanding there. But on the core dev side, yes. But it's more like we're replacing some of the old members and then adding new people. So overall, I would say we're expanding, but we're doing it very carefully because we don't want to rush into hiring someone that's not going to work for us. So this has been main thing. So I would say roughly about a month from now, because like typically when you hire new coders, we put them on a 90-day probation period just to make sure. So they're not technically full time. So the true kind of size of our team will be only known on a full time basis much later. But I think I would say we're probably adding another a couple. Across all dev, the core areas, and also we're very sensitive about managing time zones because this time zone really sort of kind of destroyed a certain team culture. And when you try to like manage a developer across maybe 5-6 different time zones, it's very hard, especially when you have a small team. So we decided to hire people in the at least like in the time zone that is within 1 or 2 hour difference, so that everyone can work together within generally same sort of work hours. So that's another big change that we're trying to do. So yeah, we're trying a lot of new things, new tactical stuff, but mainly focusing on bringing quality people on the development side.
Perfect. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So if you
Yeah.
look
Also, what Josh didn't mention is, the core dev team is going to work from a single same location.
okay.
So they're actually going to work from the same place. So yeah.
Okay, well that's good. That's good to know. So you're expanding the core dev team, bringing on some more full-time developers. Obviously, you guys are working yourself. I completely agree. No point marketing at the moment because we're still in that building phase. And once the market sentiment turns around and starts to be a bit more bullish and the products are out, I think then it will be a good time, obviously, to look at marketing. But for now, everything in crypto's down, right? It's not like it's just form and the tokens just dumping on form. It's kind of everything at the moment is getting hit hard. DeFi specifically, every token seems to be getting hit in DeFi at the moment. So, no, I understand that. And I think people are starting to understand now the education's getting a lot better in DeFi. And people are starting to understand this. So that's good. So then, I mean, are we okay to shift focus now? Spend the next 15, 20 minutes just looking at alpha and what's going on? Because I think we've discussed this before. All of the other, the stable swap, the farming, the version 3, they're all kind of add-ons to the main product, which is the alpha, the beta, the gamma, which is going to effectively, once all 3 of those are released, give us parity. So we've got the risk parity, which is the what we're aiming for. So at the moment, knowing that we have alpha and that it is out there are people that have deposited funds into alpha, obviously with no feedback as of yet. So I mean, it'd be a great opportunity if you can to give some feedback on what's happening, how's it going, what can we expect in terms of some progress with the UI, as well as
Mhm.
how the processes are going for you guys.
Yeah. So just just to start off, we started this community testing about a month ago, and I must say that the kind of support that we got, and then the insights that we're able to the extract from the whole experience has been amazing. So because of the community testers and their contribution, we were able to find a lot of bugs. So I must say kudos to the community. And more, like I am leaning toward like, hey, let's get community more involved, not just on testing side, but maybe on an ongoing basis. I would like to get some of the testers or some of the community members to tell us what kind of asset that they like.
Nice.
That's more in the longer term after we build some strong the investment foundation. But the community testing process has been very positive. And that comes with a certain sort of price tag. That is because they found a lot of interesting, let's just say, bugs. We had to focus on debugging all of that, and because of the internal theft, we that probably costed us at least about 4 weeks just to deal with it. I believe we pretty much turned the corner on all of the issues except probably one or two. So I think community members should be able to get their money out if they want. I think those $3,000 that were stuck on the test dot, I think formation.fi, that maybe also be able to the withdrawal. So at this current moment, we're actually dealing with mainly on the BSC side. There's just a lot of network issues, and this is most likely systemic blockchain issues, not idiosyncratically related to what we're trying to do, but it's more on BSC network in general. We're not 100% sure yet. I think Ravi can probably shed more light on that, but we are dealing with some these network issues. So some of them could be coding related, but we will find exactly what the problem is. So that's that. The as we build this alpha, I would say the 95%, maybe even greater amount of the alpha construction is basically done. Now, what is going to take a little longer time is dealing with the security issues. And what we found out through the internal theft is just a classic blockchain problem, because this, our entire system is not really censorship resistant in a way, because one internal person with the key, they could, let's say, cause a lot of damage. So how do we find a way to minimize this type of damage that is not done by the outsiders, but the insiders? So, and that's something that we thought about in the past, but we didn't really take more active stance on it. So Ravi and our team spent last probably 3 weeks time trying to address how do we solve this problem, meaning all these coders coming in and out, they have access to our smart contracts and they could always cause issues. So how do we minimize if such thing happens? So we found a solution, and we documented. We have a detailed design doc, and we're going to have to institute this special security focused processes in place. So that means that we're going to have to recode a lot of the stuff, add some new modules, new process, new procedures, just to ensure that money would not get lost. So this will cost us. I think this will take us another probably a couple of weeks to rework the whole engineering aspect. I think where it's going to cause a lot more time is probably on the testing side, because more and more we're finding out that this multi-chain environment this blockchain is still very embryonic, if not primitive, sort of environment. So testing is just not. We can't do it in a very sophisticated or let's say automated way. A lot of them are manual. So this will take some time. So what we are going to do is my personal goal is to deliver alpha, beta, gamma, and also parity. Let's just say in the next couple of months. I'm thinking maybe 4 to 6 months time, hopefully much, much sooner. I think when we performed our IDO, we promised that we will deliver all of that by summer of 2022. So I'm still very much focused on getting that sort of a promise kept. So we still have a lot of hoops to jump through. So that's what we're working on. So once we finish alpha, beta, gamma would be much easier because the foundation is pretty much laid. Parity will take a lot more time, but we are looking for ways to shortcut a lot of these things. But at the moment, the singular focus is security. It's not even getting all the fancy stuff. I think some of the technical fancy stuff is already done. We just got to make sure that the foundation that keeps money in is very secure. I think the result of our planning for the past 3-4 weeks, I'm hoping that in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks time, we should be able to give you, let's just say, modified version of more tactical roadmap, which will give you a lot more insight as to what, let's just say, after alpha, a beta, gamma parity will come out. So it will have some general sort of timeline, and then all the new developers that we're hiring, we're gonna put them under this brand new technical roadmap, and then we will really try to execute on that basis. So that's sort of my kind of broad stroke kind of commentary on where things are going. Ravi, do you want to add anything to it?
Sure. Yeah, I think Josh sums it up very nicely in terms of what we've been doing. I think in terms of Alpha itself, really, really appreciate the support from the community. I think even before we asked people to start putting money to test, many people had already done it. So that enthusiasm was really appreciated. It also caused a little bit of issue, but it's not a big deal. Some people had put it on the wrong side. I think that has been restored, but that shows the enthusiasm and the support, and that's appreciated. And in terms of the main site itself, in terms of alpha testing, please continue to try whatever scenarios you think of. Please do that. Deposit money, withdraw money, all those wonderful things. Do that. And behind the scenes, so we have a set of processes that are supposed to invest the assets and so on, and that is what we are working on. And now, given the recent events, as Josh mentioned, that's where we're focusing a lot more on enhancing the processes in the blockchain environment and using cryptography to make it a lot more secure. So that's what the focus is on. And I think the key is that we want to make sure that no internal or external actors can compromise the system. So that's the set of processes we are putting in. So the investment pieces, we know that's working now from the community test, and that's a simple summary would be that it worked very well. We are pleased with the results. We're of course going to keep enhancing it, and now we're going to add the security to it. And that's going to be the focus. In terms of the community testing itself, in terms of the issues we uncovered, there were about 3 to 4 issues that we uncovered, right? And that's the reason we do it. So we got full mileage from that. So 1 or 2 of the issues, and again, it's a bit technical, but I will mention it. And if somebody has questions, we can look at that. So in the blockchain environment, there are some restrictions in how you can do some simple things, simple arithmetic things like multiplication and division. Multiplication is fine, but we don't have floating point numbers. That is 1.234. That's a decimal number. Solidity doesn't support that. So some of these issues seem to be coming down to, because our smart contracts are a little bit more advanced than some of the protocols, so we have to do some calculations. So when we do these calculations, we run into some issues where the existing blockchain infrastructure across most protocols, including Solidity, they don't support that. So we're running into some of these number issues, and this could be network related. So either we have to find a workaround, or we will find a solution on our side. So that's where we stand. We have identified a lot of those issues, and we're actively putting on fixing those and working on the security, and that will be alpha very soon. So I think that rounds up all the things that we needed to do on alpha.
I mean,
And in terms,
I
yeah.
definitely appreciate the feedback there. I do have a
Mhm.
question. I do have one
Yes,
question.
please.
Yes.
Mhm.
We have, I don't know how much, but we have a sum of money that's been invested into Alpha so far from the community. And I suppose what a few people are going to be asking is, how is that going? I mean, the processes I understand. We understand that there's security issues that have happened in the past, and as a result, you are now rebuilding a lot of the infrastructure to be better protected. We all are very grateful for that, and we all welcome that. And we also appreciate that takes time. So the extra few weeks, even if it's an extra month, whatever, that's just something we understand that takes time. But in terms, and also in terms of the feedback from the bugs and the things is great. In terms of the performance feedback, how is Alpha going in terms of the investment portfolio? Because obviously you've not disclosed where things are, how much is where, and what it's doing. So we have, as a community, we have no indicator as to is it being successful, is it not, is it doing well, is it not, is it invested, is it not. So I suppose what would be nice to know is just how from a performance point of view, how is Alpha doing?
Sure. No, definitely happy to mention that. Um, I will mention it a little bit, and I will tell you why. We need to know it, but this is something that's going to become more important later on. But first of all, alpha price started with $1. Yeah, so I think that's what everybody remembers. If you put $100, you would get 100 alpha tokens,
Yes.
and now the alpha price is 0.99. The market is down 30%. So I think we are holding up pretty okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that should sum it up. But that said, so we have built a machine, an engine that can run at 200 kilometers per hour, let's say, but we are running it at 5 kilometers per hour. And the reason is because when Alpha launched, that is the week we got actually, we had all these internal issues with the hack and all that, right? So that's when we decided not to use the full scale of the processes that we had built, and we slowed it down significantly. So we are not making investments as much as we wanted to, because we are slowing it down. We're going step by step. A lot of things that were automatic, we started, making it slower.
Yeah, and going
So
through manual
we have more
verification.
cash
Yes.
buffer. We have more of a cash buffer than we intended to earlier, right? But once we have the new security, we're going to ramp it back up and take it to where it at the speed that it's supposed to go to, which is 200 kilometers. Right now, it's 5 kilometers, and so it's holding steady. That's, I think, what we should look at.
Yes.
And what will also happen. And look, at the end of the day, we're doing this because it's an investment fund, right? So we will publish daily indicative prices and a historical list of prices, which should tell everybody how it's performing. So we will definitely do that. That will be on the roadmap that Josh mentioned when it comes
Yes.
out.
And I
Yeah, I
think
don't know if that answers your question. Any follow-ups or anything?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think that's fine, and I think that's definitely something in terms of expectation. That helps with the community, because I believe we live in a community where everyone expects instant gratification, and everyone expects like instant results and instant answers. But what we fail to sometimes remember in traditional investment and traditional markets is a lot of this is almost done pro forma or pro rata on a a 30 or a 60-day like report schedule where you'll get a PDF report of, well, this is how your portfolio has been managed. So I think at the moment when you have these manual processes in place, it makes sense, that we get a delayed report on the performance, and people can see in real time the price of the token. I mean, it is. I know that if you deposited into V1 Alpha, there was a small fee for the deposit. For example, for me, I put $1,000 in, so I have 995 Alpha tokens. So there was a 5 Alpha. I think it's 0.5%. So then the price of Alpha started at $1. It's currently at 99 cents. And so I agree. I think it's holding up very well. And I think as long as the community understand that we are still in early beta, you're still testing, you're still doing a lot of research into what works, what doesn't, you're implementing security to make sure that it's protected. And as a result of that, the fact that it is holding its peg to $1 at the moment is a good thing, given the fact that the market is down 30%. Well, since it launched, at least. I mean, it's probably a bit more like 20% now. But the point being, it's still down. It's still down, 20 to 30%, and yet Alpha is not down 20 to 30%. Alpha is still holding. So yeah. I appreciate that answer, and thank you for that.
It's mostly because we're being safe. We're keeping more cash. We are not doing the full set of investments we are doing, and we're not doing it as fast as we would like to, but we will ramp it up because we just want to see now that it's working.
Yes.
That it actually moves, right? It's like a new ship, right? We're putting it in sea and it's still holding up.
Yeah.
So now should it go faster? And then the security thing happened. So we want to make sure, and then we'll go faster, and then we'll publish alpha prices every day. So we will know how it's performing every day, right? So this is going to be on the website, and it's going to be part of the plan. But right now, I think, it's just that, people try various scenarios that would really help us to identify the issues and fix them. And of course, look, performance is important, and we will definitely get back to that when the fund starts performing at its full potential. Right now, it's still, please think of it as a early test, and we're keeping more cash than investments.
Perfect.
And to be safe, and we will slowly scale that up. Yeah.
One more question just before we wrap up is, now that you obviously have the core components of Alpha, and I know you're redoing some of those modules, are you building out beta at the same time? Is some of these components being used? Have you got anyone working on beta at the moment, or are you still, has that not been touched or started? Are you still predominantly on Alpha right now?
Oh, so this is a very, very good question. I will mention one thing here. So now I think we have 4 keywords here, right? Alpha, beta, gamma, and parity, right? Now, when we talk about parity, and I think Steve mentioned the keyword here, risk parity, right? So what risk parity actually means is that when you invest in an asset, the amount of money you put in the asset is proportional or somewhat equals the risk from that asset, right? So alpha is actually doing that already. So the way we calculate the weights for alpha is that each asset, the amount of money we put in it, is somewhat dictated by the risk that particular asset holds. So we can actually already say alpha is parity. But then we're going beyond that. So what alpha, beta, gamma they represent is that beta and gamma will sort of, the way to think about it, in the stock market, we have different sectors, right? So sectors sort of move a little bit different from each other. So beta and gamma will sort of counterbalance alpha. And that's what we are doing. So the machinery that we have for alpha will be almost the same. What alpha, beta, and gamma, the way they differ will be the type of assets we will choose. And when we go across more networks, we will see that they counterbalance each other. So the short answer to that, the summary of whatever I just said is that, yeah, alpha will be very directly used for beta and gamma, and we've already started working on it. And once we get security ready in alpha, beta and gamma will be ready in a matter of a few days, if not weeks after that. So beta and gamma will be much simpler after alpha. So all the pieces will be used, and the security which we are focusing on will be applied to the rest of the protocol. So beta will be much, beta and gamma will be much simpler. Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ravi. Thank you for that feedback. Okay,
Sure.
awesome. I mean, I think we're good. Do you have any closing remarks, guys? I don't think we need a big long session today. I think there's not a lot more to kind of feedback on. I think we've covered everything there. But do you want to close out with any last remarks, guys?
Yeah, maybe I could start there. And then try to end my part. My last sort of remark is that one, we really appreciate community support. I think more and more, I'm becoming more a fan of this intense community engagement because initially I felt that it was actually quite disruptive to the flow, but after going through the community testing, the value was very clear. So I am very grateful. Secondly, I do continue to ask for everyone's patience. If you want to speculate, maybe you should go for other projects. If you want to stay with us and make money together with us, then you should stick around. And as we move forward, I just want to remind everybody that we are in a very complex money management business. Technology that we're building is only one of three main components. The second component is asset selection. The third component is actually the back office management, the stuff that Steve mentioned about getting the regular reports, being able to run some simulations, being compliant, and then have proper, the security documentations and all that stuff. Those are usually 50% of any major investment banks or, the major money management business. And we haven't even scratched the surface in that in a way that is meaningful in long term. We are making a lot of progress, but right now we're very much focused on technology building. Asset selection has been mostly done as an initial run, but I want to spend a lot more time in there. And we have deep expertise in our team who could do this. We're going to bring another new person who could do that, but we're not doing that yet because we want to focus on, on making sure the technology foundation is very strong. So I want you to know, everyone who's in this AMA, this is going to be a long-term play. And I'm not selling any of my tokens. I'm keeping mine. I'm very piggish about it, and I am in it for the long haul. So I want everyone to understand that we are going to build this up, but this is going to take some time.
Perfect. No, I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you very much. Krzysztof, any closing remarks? Anything to mention before we head off?
Well, I just fully agree with Josh, so I don't think there is much I could add from my side. As you know, we're not going to push any marketing right now because it just doesn't make sense. The market is bleeding. Obviously, Form is depreciating a lot as well. We are aware of that, but this is definitely not the time for us to do any buyback on launch any, market making activities. Because first we want to build a product, then once the market is going to stabilize, at least this is where we're going to push.
Okay. And that makes sense. So I think wait for the market sentiment to recover, work on the product, keep building, and then when the market starts to recover, if the product is at a point where we can start to market, you'll look at doing a buyback and then a marketing campaign around that.
Exactly.
Perfect. No, I think that makes perfect sense, and not sticking to any timelines so that we don't, we don't mismanage expectations.
Yeah, we were just talking with Josh prior to this AMA that we want to under promise and over deliver. That's better strategy for us.
Yes. Yeah,
So
I think
we're just gonna stick to that.
Yeah. Okay, so no hard dates, but we do know that there is in the future we're going to see a new updated roadmap that will have the ability for people to see what's coming. Okay. I think
also, I'm personally gonna make sure that Alpha, when it comes to the front end and the GUI, it's gonna be as much transparent for the users as possible. We do have some internal discussions about how to make this happen because I'm more of a fan creating those interfaces when everything can be seen right on instead of going through and checking something on the blockchain. I would personally would not like to manually check some stuff that is happening in the alpha on the blockchain. So I'll try to make sure that everything from our point of how alpha works and how is the how is the internal investment going will be basically available through the interface.
Perfect. I appreciate that, and I'm sure the other members of the community will as well. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ravi, any last words? Anything to add, or are you good, sir?
Sure. Just one thing that just popped up in my mind. Um, so the last 1 or 2 months, right, as we got closer to launch alpha and then actually launched alpha, that experience I think was to the internal team. It was, I think, very, very helpful because now we see the path more clearly, right? And we know exactly, okay, if we do this, this is it. We are done. I think all the pieces work. And after the community testing, we are absolutely sure now that okay, these pieces are working. And if we just add these other two things, maybe add security and the other things that we mentioned, then we see that the end game is almost there. So I think seeing that path, I think internally in the team, we are actually sort of elated about that, and also I think relieved and also excited about that. And lastly, so 1 year back, there was about 10,000 something cryptocurrencies. I don't know the exact number. Right now, there's about 18,000,
That's just what's
right?
reported.
That's just what is
Yeah.
reported.
That's
It's just
just
a
what's on.
beautiful
That's just what
point.
CoinMarketCap shows. That's not what's.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. So it's about 2 trillion, right? Let's say yeah, that's what coin market cap shows also. So the stock market is about 70 trillion. The bond market is even bigger. So now we have to look at, so the crypto space, can it be a few more trillion in a few years? I think the answer should be very obvious to all of us. It's 2 trillion now. It will be a lot bigger very soon. And what are the projects that are going to take the share of that? They are the ones who are planning and building the actual thing.
Mm.
So, and that's where we want to be counted. And now that the path is becoming clearer for us, I think we want the community to see it the way we see it. So, and that's why I think, like the questions and also the plan that we're going to share soon, we want the community to understand that and support us the way the last month, the support we got was remarkable. And if that continues, I think, we will be contributing to that increase in the $1 trillion of the crypto market share. And that's the goal for everybody. So
Oh, I
that's
completely
what I
agree.
want to say.
Completely agree. And I mean, you only have to look back at Bitcoin's history. If you look at Bitcoin itself, the entire crypto market space up until 2020 was less than 1 trillion. It went from
Yeah.
1 to 2 it took 8 to 10 years to reach 1 trillion. It took less than 6 months to get to 2 trillion.
Exactly.
So when you consider, and we nearly hit 3 trillion, obviously, there's a lot of external factors. There's external global events. There was COVID. There's like the Ukraine-Russia thing going on. There's governance. There's sanctions that are coming on board. You've also got market manipulation. You've got industries. You've got smart money. You've got institutions playing with each other. You've got countries playing with each other. There's a lot of psychological warfare going on in terms of this, as well as everything else. And that's not even considering the technology, the way that people are evolving, the hacks, the bad actors, the internal challenges, the time zones. I mean, there's a lot going on in this space. We are still very, very, very early.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah,
that the
indeed.
people that are here just need to continue to hold on and just give the team time. At the end of the day, it's very easy for people, and I've seen it. I've seen in the community, people go, oh, but, everything these days, everything's a rug pull. It wasn't that long ago that Axie was a rug pull, and then everyone went to peg Axie because there was more money, and the money's gone out of that now. And so everyone's now, and there's a lot of this cancel culture, and we see it a lot. It's a lot of toxicity. And so what I would ask for the community is that if you need to vent, if you need to vent your frustration, we've actually created channels for you to do that. There's the form moan in the Discord. You can go in there and you can moan about form or anything you want with no repercussions. There's no, be respectful. Don't be disrespectful to people. But if you want to moan, we're not going to ban you, or we're not going to say anything bad about it. Like, you've got that space to, if you need for that mental release. But just understand that if you're here and you're a holder and you've got this token, then the team are still here. If this was a traditional rug pull, they wouldn't be wasting their time doing AMAs. They wouldn't be wasting their time doing updates. So they're still here. They're still working. The markets are crap. Everything's down. There's been some challenges, but things are still being built. And so just have faith, have the confidence, give them time. And I believe myself with everybody else will, if we can get through this, we will reap the rewards afterwards. Guys,
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think we've run over a little bit, but I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you so much. I know it was a short one. There's not really a lot to cover this month because no news is good news, as they say. And
we really appreciate your closing comments, Steve.
No, man, it's
Yeah,
good job
as always. Really appreciate it.
I've said it from day one. I'm an investor. I'm here for the community, but I'm also here for you guys. And I think sometimes,
hey, just say no. Steve is not getting paid by that.
No, I don't get paid anything.
I mean, and like if we would pay him, then obviously he would probably be, could be not as transparent as he is right now. But I saw that a lot of people are accusing that, Steve is on our payroll. That's why he's still holding.
He's not.
Nope.
He's not.
No, the only thing I've ever got from the team as a way of thank you was an allocation to the SNS, which I still paid my own money towards that. I just got a bigger allocation than other people as a way of saying thank you. That's the only thing that I've had as a thank you for this.
That is true.
I don't want paying for this. I don't do this for the money. At the end of the day, I am an investor. Me being here and doing this is my way of protect. Look, there's two things you can do in a bear market. You can cry and complain, or you can, dig in and build and help. And this is just my way of protecting my investment. I've got a lot of form.
Yes.
And yeah, no, I appreciate you guys, and you've definitely, in my eyes, made leaps and bounds in terms of your efforts to be more transparent, more open, to communicate. Some of the challenges from before, and I feel it. I've seen it. When the community's toxic, you don't want to interact with them. Why would you? It's not nice. And so I fully appreciate, especially Josh, what you're saying about more community involvement. This is it's good to hear, and building those bridges and moving forward. And once the markets pick up, everyone will be happy again, and it'll be exciting times.
Yes.
Yeah, I think every week Josh is going to be joining our Discord and giving us updates on the alpha side. At least this is what we're trying to do. Yeah. So and you saw he's been much more active on the Discord. So
I think it's easier as well because we had the Telegram and the Discord, and we had different places. And I think
exactly.
Transitioning it all into Discord is.
And we do want to transition, to Discord and make Discord the only official channel for Forum. Obviously, it will take time. Yeah. So but we're willing to basically make this. I mean, Discord, it is still our main channel. It's just obviously we have way bigger audience on Telegram. Yes. I don't know how many of those are bots, but yeah.
But I think also you can keep Telegram for an announcement channel, but I think discussions can happen in Discord. I think that's better for a community.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to end it there, but just one last question that's coming from Spicy just at the last moment there is, how is team morale? How are you guys feeling? Internally, it's been a bit of a rough time. You've had a lot of challenges, but overall, how do you feel?
Yeah, maybe I could say that. What for those of you who have been kind of listening to what I said, I tend to be a little more harsh and not so positive about things because I went through a lot as an entrepreneur, and many times when bad time comes, it gets really, really ugly. I'm not gonna say our team morale is super high. I think that would be a lie because I think we had to go through our own a bit of a moaning period to accept the fact that this internal theft took place. We all knew who that person was. We had certain relationship with the person. He disappeared. He took the money, and that's very saddening. So we are going through that a little bit of a sad period. A lot of it is more of a I would say, somewhat self-pounding, especially for Krzysztof and I. We take personal responsibility for what happened. So we feel terrible about it. So I would say 4 weeks ago it was bad. Now it's getting a little bit better because we are starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. And especially Ravi and his team, we spent a ton of time building our plan. So the plan looks way, way better than, let's say, 6-7 months ago. So I think from my point of view, I would say the morale is improving, but I cannot say that we are super high because we are dealing with this, these issue. So, and also, some community so reaction has been somewhat harsh. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I mean, Krzysztof especially, I mean, he reads everything, he internalizes everything, and so that kind of makes both of us somewhat very receptive toward the overall community sentiment per se. So we drew from that. So I think morale will get better, but we want that to be based on performance, based on actual progress. No crypto bullshit, no hypes, none of those. But we want to fundamentally deliver something that's very valuable to you guys and also valuable to me because I want this for myself. I don't enjoy doing too much the eel farming because it's very time consuming. So I think this could add a lot of value to a lot of us. So that's what I could say about our overall team morale. I think it's improving.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. For any of you that are listening now, if you're listening, or even if you're on the replay, you have an opportunity right now as a member of this community. The team have just told you that morale was bad, it's getting better, but they read everything. So go into the general chat in Discord and post something positive. Post a positive message to the team and tell them what you like about, not what you don't like, not what you want, not how you want money. Tell them something you like about this project. Tell them something positive. And I will pick 2 or 3 of the best comments and I will give them 1,000 form each. Okay? So there you go. You've got an opportunity now to earn a little bit of form and also to make a positive impact in someone else's day. Let's help. Rather than coming with problems, let's look for solutions. Let's help the team feel better so they can be more focused, more positive, morale's better, they'll work harder. Okay? It works for everyone. Protect your investments, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, guys, I think we're good. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Bravo, Steve.
Well said. Pleasure.
Thank you.
I will see you again next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you, guys.
Take care. Thank you
you.
ever so
Take
much.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.